what's on our website. That's our homepage. There are 26 safety videos. It says 1-minute videos. They're not just 1-minute videos. There's another 20 longer safety videos there. And if you scroll down to the bottom of our homepage, you will see the faces of about a half a dozen people who have been killed in laboratory accidents. This was a biology fatality. This is Sherban Sanji, who was killed at UCLA. This is our memorial wall. This is the list of over 500 people who have died in the last 100 years in laboratory accidents. And if you would like a poster that describes this, put up on the wall, and it's got a cemetery, a graveyard in the background, we'll be happy to send you the PDF to remind everybody there are laws of nature. And if you do what these people did, sooner or later, you're going to get the same result, and you're going to kill yourself. Life is full of choices, and you have a choice to either learn from the past or not. If you don't, you are destined at some point to have a higher risk of repeating their mistake. Any question about the memorial wall? Anything you'd like to ask about? It's very sad. I don't want you to join that group. This is a very elite club and you don't want to be a member.
And you know that this one is just the one that is reported. It's a lot more, maybe it's about 5%. So a lot of the accident case, the death in the lab or something is never been reported. So they don't want to open it up. So be careful. Learn from their mistake. Don't do it yourself, but do start doing it.
So there's the gravestone. So let's talk about growing the culture. You need to have an effective safety program. What do we mean by a safety program? Well, we don't want anybody to be hurt, right? Our goal this year is 0 disabling injuries. Last year, our goal was 26. In retrospect, it was a mistake. We had to injure 9 people to meet the goal. Wait a minute, that's not the way you should do it. We don't want to have to injure people. Well, Dilbert always has kind of a fun way of looking at things. Safety programs are a planned group of activities, functions, and practices which take place regularly to address your health and safety needs. And I have a checklist that I'd like to send you that has 33 elements of a good safety program in it. Here's 21, there's up to 32, and number 33 is visitor, vendor, contractor safety. You don't want to hurt them, and you don't want them to hurt you. So part of the program needs to be dealing with visitors, vendors, and contractors. And we have a system for scoring each of those elements from 0 to 6 points. And we have a set of criteria that we can use to to do that evaluation. And I was mentioning to our colleagues at lunch today that we're looking forward to coming back to Thailand in December for the conference of the International Council of Associations for Science Education, the National Science Education, Teacher Science Education Association in Thailand, in England, in China, in Turkey, in the United States. This is an umbrella organization for science teachers. I'm a past chair of that group's safety committee. And I'd like to come back. I'd like to come here in December and bring the checklist and give you all the criteria and sit down with your safety committee and evaluate and have you evaluate and score all of those elements to see how we're doing and identify the places to do better. There are 10 critical components. We don't have time to talk about all of them. We've only got about 10 minutes left before we have a little break and some snacks, and then we're going to do some scenarios together. But let's talk about the most important 4. The new employee safety orientation. I believe that that is the single most important component in building a good culture of safety. That the employee's immediate supervisor, if you're a grad student, it's your principal investigator. If you're the chair of the chemistry department, it's the dean of that college. If you're a faculty member in the department, it's the chair of the department. The person who has performance review and supervisory responsibility. And that person needs, as my boss at Dow did, to sit down with you on the first day and look you in the eyeball, person to person, and say, your health and safety matters here. I care about your health and safety. I expect you to follow the safety rules. Your performance is going to be evaluated based on this. Please don't do anything if you're not satisfied that it's safe. You can call time out anytime you like, and we'll stop work and we'll talk about it. Your safety is more important than making widgets and generating data points. And if the dean and the president and the chair of the department and the principal investigator will do that, then we can build a stronger culture of safety. You know what some people say to me? They say, Jim, you know, the hardest part of all of this is trying to convince some of our faculty that they really ought to pay more attention to this. It's a challenge. I understand that. You know what else they say? They say, we're improving our lab safety program one retirement at a time. I call that person Dr. Wilson. And when he or she retires, because he or she doesn't really care about this, the safety program gets better. Well, let's, from now on, after today, if you conduct an interview for somebody to work with you, make sure you ask the lab safety question. What have you done in the past that will allow you to contribute to our department's lab safety program? And if they don't have any experience, maybe, and they're not willing to learn, maybe that's not the right person to add. You can improve the program one retirement at a time, and you can also do it one new hire at a time. And when you go out and you graduate and you start looking for a job, you better ask your future employer, how important is health and safety here, and what is it that you do that shows that you're serious about it? Not that it's a lot of blah, 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 and now get those 600 samples analyzed because we're in trouble if it's not done right. Stay late, work alone. Number 2 is the safety manual. We need to have a good safety manual with all the policies and procedures for working safely in the lab. My boss at Dow handed me the Dow Central Research Safety Manual and said, Jim, take this home tonight and read it. This was my first day. And when you come back in the morning, sign it in the front where it says, I've read it, I understood it, I agree to follow it, and I wasn't a sophomore in high school, I wasn't a sophomore in college, I was a PhD student with 2 years of postdoctoral experience, signing the same kind of rules agreement. Do you ask your undergraduates to sign a rules agreement here in your science classes? Do you use rules agreements with undergraduates? Anyone an undergraduate here? All grad students? Okay. In chemistry, do the undergraduates taking first year chemistry have to sign a rules agreement? Let's action idea. Let's create a rules agreement. I will send you a prototype for it, and let's see if we can get that implemented in all of the science classes that have laboratories. These are the most important rules. They have to be followed. If you don't, it could cost you the privilege of being in this class. You don't get an unlimited number of opportunities to put yourself at risk, to put other students at risk, and the reputation of this great university at risk. Sooner or later, we're going to part company. You know what? The faculty need to sign it too, because they need to be the role models. The dog sled can't go any faster than the lead dog. My boss said, Jim, if there's anything you want to do that's not in the manual, don't do it. Take your suggestion to the lab safety committee, and if they approve it, we'll all do it. A safety committee that meets every month is a good thing, and it should rotate through all the faculty. Having a graduate student safety committee would be a good thing to do. And the rules agreement.